apologise enough. It must be a real bureaucratic blunder, but many apologies for this. And we'll certainly let you know if and when she reappears. I mean, I can't promise to reimburse you myself, but anyhow, I hope you'll come when she does speak. But I'm so sorry about that. We've got three wonderful speakers today. The first of whom is the great Christopher Simon Sykes, and he and I share a great admiration for David Hockney. And Christopher is also a wonderful photographer. He did some photographs for Canada Lighted Greens. Remember the How Wonderful column? And Christopher did pictures of that. But he's also a distinguished writer, and he's written Vol. 2 of his life of David Hockney. And here he is.
First of all, if I speak, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, just want to make sure. Okay. It's all right. Yeah. Everyone happy now? Yeah. Okay. It's a bit difficult sort of speaking bending down. I'm sorry I'm not Kate Moss, however, not novel, I mean the writer. It's interesting to me that in the reviews of my book, almost every critic to a man said that one of their favourite things in the book was the writings and thoughts of David Hockney's mother, Laura Hockney, and her Alan Bennett writings in her diary. So I've decided that what I'm going to do is read you a few extracts in her diaries, because she was such an important figure in his life, and a couple of letters too. So the first one is from when he was 14, and it's just an artist's son. What it is to have an artist's son. David thought he should be allowed to use the little bedroom for a studio, just decorated and all, but I positively refuse. I need the room, and if David had it, he would ruin it. We all appreciate his work, but he's getting to expect all and give nothing in return. His own room was dreadfully untidy. We compromised, and as our front bedroom has to be decorated, I said David could finish his portrait in there. He's doing a full-length portrait of himself, and has the wardrobe there dismantled and propped up where he can see it. A table littered with paints, brushes, etc. But he dropped paint on the carpet just where he hadn't covered it with newspapers. Kenneth thinks I should let David use the little room, but I still think he should respect other people's work as well as his own. He's a happy-go-lucky fellow, a real anarchist, but it just won't do. So this is his first exhibition in Leeds, where he was showing a portrait of his father. Kitchen upset all morning, David sketching in it. He went off soon after lunch for the opening of the exhibition at Leeds. Ken and I went. We were proud of David's pictures. They looked quite at home amongst the others. After his parents had gone home, David was approached by a man called Bernard Gillinson, who offered him £10 for the portrait of his father, Kenneth Hockney. After checking with his dad, he was happy for the payment to be sold, accepted the offer, and then called Laura. He rang me up and said, "Hello, Mum, I've sold me dad." It was so funny the way he said it. He got £10, which was a fortune to him at the time. He was so proud. A gold medal. This is when he was just leaving the Royal College and was awarded the gold medal. David rang up on Friday evening to tell us he's been given a gold medal and has a first-class honours. He's somewhat concerned, but it is a wonderful honour, and he has evidently been persuaded to attend the ceremony, which previously he had no intention of doing. We are very proud of him and would like to go to London to see the ceremony and share the honours. I'm so glad David is still humble, but he has earned the prize. His only love is to paint. so far. At the ceremony, David wore a gold lame jacket he'd brought the previous day from Cecil G in the Charing Cross Road. Laura thought it was part of the costume. David looked fine in his gold lame jacket and gold-banded black gown and cap, his white gold hair to match. The principal in his speech said that under David's eccentricities his heart was in his work, and that not only was he honoured by the college, but would, he thought, be one day an honour to his country. I'm glad David is humble enough not to care too much about the presentation, but realises that his work alone will get him a place in the world. So this is his parents' first viewing of his very first flat in London in Notting Hill. At last, we have a letter from David, who is still busy, says he may be up at Easter after a few days, but he's using the college while students are on vacation for working on his etchings. We discussed my going to London with Ken on Thursday and staying with David. He has 2 beds, but I wrote to ask if it was convenient. He told us Anthony Armstrong Jones, Princess Margaret's husband, is going to photograph him for the Times on Wednesday. 2 days after the photo shoot, his mother got her first look at Paris Terrace, accompanying Ken down to London for the Easter Aldermaston March. Arriving at St Pancras at 5:10 a.m, they took a taxi to the flat. Cost 10 and 3pence. Ken had so much baggage and manners. David had tea and toast in a jiffy, and wasn't it welcome? He went back to bed at 6 a.m. I washed up and generally cleaned up the kitchen, which is very nice and modern. As soon as I thought the world was up, I vacuumed my room. A gorgeous room with such possibilities, but dowdy and in need of much attention. A divan bed, but no sheets. A trip to the Casmin Gallery, which is his first gallery in Bond Street. We went to Bond Street, where J. Casmin, David's agent, has his gallery. Not very large, but wonderfully modern, with engine-manoeuvred lattice ceiling blinds, which commanded light and sunshine in any part of the room. White walls and black beams were very striking. Also 2 pictures in entire black for £500. Mr. Casmin is a small, energetic person, full of vitality. He suggested we had an evening playing poker, which David evidently does. I hope not often. One does wonder. A Mother's Pride, December 1963. David is in the news this week. A whole page in this month's studio, and his exhibitions are announced in the Sunday Times. Also, next Sunday, the critics on the Home Service discuss his exhibition. David has not yet let us know if and when we can go. 2 days later, she was bemoaning the fact he was increasingly difficult to get hold of. About 7 p.m, we rang his flat, but there was no reply. Why? Well, when we turned round, there he was on the telly, on BBC Tonight programme, speaking to Kenneth Alsop, who was questioning him about his pictures. Some oil paintings and 6 of his Rake's Progress engravings were compared with Hogarth. It was very thrilling to see him there. It makes me choke with a queer mixture of pride and humility that he is our boy. God bless him. May he make good and do good with his success. A beautiful woman. It's so sweet, this. Phone call from London. Julie Kavanagh on behalf of American paper Women's Wear Daily. David had given my name as a beautiful woman, along with Celia Birtwell. How I laughed. If it is for American publication, it won't matter. The next day, however, the Yorkshire Post called. Did I know about the beautiful women? I didn't know I was any beauty. I'm just ordinary and I don't like a fuss. And it was nice of David to say so. Wonderful drying weather. Kenneth, her husband, died in February 1979, and soon after Laura went to visit David in California, her first trip there. David, Celia and I went to Disneyland. It was a beautiful sunny day. Crowds of people, strange way to spend Easter for me. Later invited a neighbour of David's for tea and met a score of actresses and famous folk. Most of them I did not know. Rock Hudson was one of them. It was Laura's first visit to LA, where she was mystified by the fact that, oh, it's such a shame that with all this sunshine, it's wonderful drying weather, but nobody ever seems to hang their washing out. So I'm finishing the 2 letters he wrote to her. In January 1992, Laura, increasingly frail, moved from Bradford into a ground floor flat in Bridlington. Every day I think of you and thank you with all my heart for your love and kindness to me. You've helped me so much over the years. Growing old is not easy, and the creaky joints can't be old. It was so hard to leave Hutton Terrace, my kind neighbours and familiar rooms. Every corner of them I knew. We old folk are a liability to our younger folk who naturally want to live their own lives. I know I am not with it. I'm not able to keep up with this wonderful age we live in. You should just see me as I write this. On table to my left, a masterpiece of telephones with 3 one-number push buttons. A lifeline. Margaret, with that quick and clever brain, went and bought an extra phone with 20 more one-number press buttons, and she has fixed them all up for me, and I wear another press button round my neck. David, it is so marvellous. Now all I need is a secretary. And finally, this very, very touching letter she wrote on a subject that really she'd never discussed with David, which is about his sexuality. Because whenever I asked him about it, he said, oh no, it was something we never talked about. My dear David, I must admit that I've spent much time and thought about you. Because, and only so, I was not asked, or maybe you knew, I would not have been able to help you when you were in need of love and understanding in the early days, when this homosexuality was pushed to the public. You bravely and openly went on and sorted yourself out. I first heard of it on the radio from the Reverend L. Barnett, who wrote a book which I brought and read, but for so long did not understand. There was no one to talk to, and Ken did not share with me. You know, I've always been rather naive, but I've always trusted and believed in you, no matter what was said. You were my boy. When these things were televised, talked of in the news, etc., etc., I still believed in you and was emphatic of your honour, attached no shame and loved you with all my heart, but was helpless to understand, and you did not seek our confidence. I'm sure it was because you realised we did not understand. From my searchings, I've wondered if this particular creation has anything to do with parents. If so, David, you've never shown any resentment, and now it is out. You know what my deepest thoughts and prayers have been for you, and myself. I love you so very much, and your whole being tells me you love me. I've never ever met anyone who carries love and caring on their person as you do, even as a child. I just believe God is the great potter. He makes and moulds us after his own will, and we are supple in his hands. Please forgive me if this is a revelation to you. It has been hard to write. I do not wish to probe. Only you are part of me. There are many things I shall never know in this life. The world changes every day, but I'll be modern where I can. God bless you, my own dear boy.